Early predictions for offensive and defensive MVPs. His is George Pickens and Minka Fitzpatrick. Dark horse, Jalen Warren and Patrick Queen. And then rookie MVP, Zach Frazier, Peyton Wilson. Let's start with you. Your offensive and defensive MVP.
I think offensive, I would go with Najee Harris. I feel like he has something to prove this year. I do. I think that a lot of people are saying, all right, Jalen Warren's going to be the feature back now. He's going to get more and more of this offense now. But I think that what you saw yesterday from Jalen saying, oh, we're going to be used a lot in the pass game. I think seeing Najee Harris at OTAs, and I think knowing the situation that he's walking into this season, I feel like it's going to be a monster year for him. And I know it's not a huge jump saying the guy that's been a 3-time 1,000-yard rusher in his career is going to have another big season when the Steelers invested in that offensive line like we talked about. But something about Najee Harris going into this year with something to prove feels to me like a Najee Harris that's going to explode onto the scene this year as one of the top 5 running backs in the National Football League when all's said and done with the statistics. And I think that's going to be a big part of the Steelers offense. Defensively, we talked about him yesterday, Joey Porter Jr. Yes. I think that with a guy on the other side like Dante Jackson, sometimes they're going to have to throw Joey Porter's way. And I think when they do, I think in year 2, he's going to be able to make more plays, not just shutting down opposing number ones, but being able to make some plays on the ball and maybe getting a couple more interceptions to his name this season. So I'm going to go Joey Porter and Najee Harris for my MVPs.
I like it. I like them both. I like them both a lot. I'm gonna try to stay. I'm gonna go with Minka. Michael, I'm gonna agree with you. I think Minka's my early prediction. I think Minka looks good. I think Minka is always a guy that if you're gonna talk about missing time last season and letting that eat you, nobody's gonna let that eat them more than Minka. You know, he's gonna do everything he can to have a major season this year. I'm going Minka. Just early. This is early, and I don't think I have to really justify Minka. To Minka Fitzpatrick. You know, his resume speaks for himself. Offensively, I'm going to toss a bit of a dark horse here. Mine's going to be Broderick Jones. I think Broderick Jones is going to be a massive Trent Williams type impact for the Pittsburgh Steelers this season. Like I'm talking plays left tackle, and you literally build your offense behind running and working behind Broderick Jones. I think he's going to have a massive jump in year 2. I'm going Broderick Jones. Rookies, offensive and defensive, that's a tough one. Defensive, I think you have to go. I think you have to go Peyton Wilson. I think that has to be the one there.
And big on Ryan Watts.
Oh, Ryan Watts, sleeper. Beanie Bishop, man. Beanie Bishop. I'm going, does Corey Trice count as a rookie? I'm going Peyton Wilson. I think that's the easy one. And offensive, I'm gonna go Troy Fautanu. I think Troy Fautanu is going to be a guy. I think everybody wants to talk about Zach Frazier. I think he's going to have good impact, but I think Troy Fautanu is going to be the guy that just makes a ton of noise. And I think this offensive line is going to be scary good this year.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what Roman Wilson looks like, but I think it's going to be one of the big guys up front. And I personally think it's going to be Zach Frazier, because I think that when you look at what Mason Cole provided last year, again, great guy in the locker room. We always say that. That's always the caveat. On the field, he struggled a lot. To get a guy like Zach Frazier in there, and I think to get a warrior in Zach Frazier there, I think stabilizing the middle of the Steelers offensive line, I think you're going to notice that a lot. And I think that's why he's going to turn a lot of heads, especially because you look at who Fautanu's going to have to go up against in the AFC North. And on this schedule, it's going to be a rough go for a young guy on the outside trying to, adapt, especially because he played most of last year on the left. We don't know where he's going to play for sure this year, but most people project he's going to be on the right side. That's still going to be a little bit of an adjustment. Whereas, I think you put Frazier right in where he's been for a lot of time at West Virginia. He's very experienced, and I think he's going to be able to take it from week 1. So I'm going to go with Frazier for rookies on offense.
I like that. I like Frazier. Just you see Isaac saying yesterday, Isaac Seumalo saying the other day, saying, hey, don't sleep on Nate Herbig, man. Don't sleep on Nate Herbig. You think Nate Herbig's got any shot to start week 1?
I think he's got a shot simply because it's the Steelers. I mean, they like to, hey, you're a rookie. You're a phenom. You're great. But week 1, we're going to go with this guy that has not played center in a long time over this guy that has played, 50 starts at West Virginia at center.
Yeah.
Right down
Crawled off the field with a broken leg.
Yeah, exactly.
Animal. Absolute animal. I agree. I think that there's a pretty strong chance that Nate Herbig gets at least some shot to start, and then, Frazier works his way in there.